Instead, we have the opportunity to make a habit of empathy, to recognize ourselves in each other.
My name is Reverend Mutima Imani, and I'm the Social Justice Minister for Faces of the East Bay, which is a nonprofit organization for the East Bay Church of Religious Science. And FACES stands for Family, Art, Culture, Education, and Spirituality, and the nonprofit organization exists to meet those needs in the community.
And you're also doing some work with the City of Oakland?
Yes, FACES is one of the convening organizations that is preparing peacekeepers for the night of the sentencing of Measure Lee. The idea is to have a critical mass of people come out or intend peace wherever they are. So I believe in the consciousness of critical mass people coming together, lending their support for a peaceful response, no matter what side of the fence they're on. I really like the concept of empathy. I've been a diversity trainer for many, many years, and in the diversity training, a lot of people come saying, well, I can tolerate you, or I'm intolerance. And for me, tolerance is, it's not good enough, actually. And empathy is much deeper and much more profound, because intolerance, it's I don't really like you, but I'll put up with you. But empathy means I really see you as a whole person, and I open my heart to you, and I'm feeling you as I'm feeling myself. And so it's broader, it's more beautiful, it's more deep. And the practice of empathy is it's a practice of open-heartedness, open-mindedness, moving towards the concept of oneness.
So if you look over kind of the arc of your life, at what point did you kind of become aware of the word empathy and the meaning of empathy? Were you always empathic from your childhood? Were your parents empathic? Did you learn it from them?
That's a good question. And my father was a lifer in the Air Force. And we were the first black family to move into a lot of places. Like, we were the second black family to move into Apple Valley. We lived in Okinawa when I was a little girl, and we were also in Casablanca. And we never lived on base. My father always took us out into the community. So when we traveled through Okinawa, oftentimes we were the first black people to go into restaurants or this little town or this store, and the red carpet was rolled out for us. And my mother used to say, you're representing the Americans, so be proud, be quiet, you know, stand up straight, all that kind of stuff. And so I learned empathy by being in different cultures where things were completely different, and then feeling accepted. And then the way that I think that empathy came up was the feeling of, even though these people are different than me, that there is something going on that I can relate to them. Even though I can't speak their language, I understand the smile. I knew when we were welcome, I knew when we weren't welcome. And so I think that that's part of empathic learning, is that I could tell when we opened the door if we should stay or not. Because empathy is a feeling. It's like, oh, you're different than me, and I'm curious about you. Let's celebrate life together. Instead of, oh my goodness, who are you? Get out of here. And so I think that, you know, I learned it very, very young.
And how did it develop over your life? Did you learn some lessons along the way?
Well, yeah, I learned how to join groups and individuals that are completely different than me by suspending my judgment, by going into my heart, by extending a feeling of curiosity about who they are. So I practiced that. And being a diversity worker, and for years I did diversity training, or one or two every week. And it was difficult in the beginning until I learned to drop into my heart and to extend love in the very beginning, knowing that I was going to run up against prejudice and ideas that needed to be restructured. And it was easier to do the work if I was in an empathetic heart. So empathetic heart means no blame, no shame, no guilt. Just, I'm accepting you as who you are, and we're going to learn together how to appreciate the differences that we have. So the story is that I was traveling with the African American Women's Conference on tour, and when it came to Oakland, I invited my multicultural girlfriends to come to the conference to say to black women, we love your children, that your children are our children. And that's what empathy is. It's the universal mother and father, and caring for all children as the mother would care for your own.
So kind of empathy is like a universal mother.
Yeah,
in a sense.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. It's the accountability and responsibility of every adult to have an empathetic heart that would allow that would include what they want for their children, for all children. Something like that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, when people empathize with each other, there's actually a chemical released in your body called oxytocin.
Oh.
And it's that feeling of kind of warmth
Yes,
that you get.
yes.
And that feeling is what women, when they give birth,
Yes.
is released into their body.
Wow.
And when they're nursing,
Yes.
oxytocin is released into their body.
Okay.
So
I should be filming you.
If you described it as a feeling, what does empathy feel like in your body? Is a felt bodily sensation?
Yeah, let's see. Let me check in. I think that it's a feeling of security, that I don't need to be frightened here. It's curiosity, so it's a little bit of excitement, so it's relaxed but kind of energetic. And it's kind of playful, like, wow, who are you? And I often say in the diversity work that I do that self-esteem is at the bottom of it, and that when an individual differentiates their self and knows that they're not just their sex, their color, their place in their family, that they're unique, that each one of us is unique and different. Once you get that, then the empathetic heart's almost natural, because then when you look at someone that's completely different, you're curious, you're excited, you're welcoming, instead of, who are you? It's like, who are you?
It's not putting up those walls.
Yes.
It's like it's kind of open and accepting and taking that in.
Yeah.
Great.
See the world through other people's eyes. Now, empathy is a quality of character that can change the world.